today's iRacing video. We're here at the BrandsHatch circuit and we're about to get underway on our full lap formation lap. Once the spotter goes off, we're going to do a formal intro.
40 minutes. The track temp is 19 Celsius.
So, fresh, brand new track on the channel, obviously not to iRacing.
Follow car number 10 in the left column.
But, brand new track in terms of not only for myself, but you guys wouldn't have seen any racing at BrandsHatch on the channel before. I've seen a lot of content on it, watched a lot of IRL races that have happened here, the British Touring Car Series. I think the GT3s do actually race here in real life. So yeah, I'm very excited. Did set a qualifying lap, however the fastest lap I set was actually a start from the pits lap. So I probably had about 2 or 3 seconds lost by coming out of the pits there. Had an absolutely shocking start, but by the looks of it, even though yes, starting P9 technically, can only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars ahead of me. So that gives me an indication that potentially a few of the cars are potentially starting from the pit lane. Before we get underway, guys, if you are enjoying the content you're seeing on the channel at the moment, please consider giving the video a like, subscribing to the channel. That would really mean a lot to me. And potentially checking out the Twitter in the description down below will help keep you up to date with what's going on the channel. Given the nature of BrandsHatch, in case it wasn't very clear, it's a very quick, windy, tight kind of circuit. So I have a sneaking suspicion that this is going to get very messy very quickly. So, main objective, I was tempted to just not submit a lap and start as far down the track as possible. However, the nature of this lap here, it is very quick at speed, so it would have literally only been a matter of laps before I was caught back up as a back marker or caught up in issues. So I thought may as well risk it and try to get a decent I-rating gain out of it. We're about to get underway here. We got 2 more corners left, then we'll be green flag racing for 40 minutes. I think the pit stop strategy is going to be very late into the race as well, if we get that far. So guys, if I do get quiet, it's just because I'm focusing extremely hard on what's going on ahead of me.
Let's go.
Shocker of a start. I was on the brake as it went green flag racing.
Car right, clear right.
I went deep into there, so I didn't make contact with anybody.
Alright Oliver, decent start. We can build something from here.
Hopefully that still picks up my audio levels alright. Just felt my elbow clip the mic. I hope it hasn't hit any settings. So we've had a perfectly clean getaway, and I haven't seen anything from my spotter that would indicate any dramas in front or behind us. I think we are quicker than Gary. This is going to be a very hard track to overtake on. Ooh, something definitely went down then if Remco is screaming reported. I don't even know where I would even put an overtaking maneuver on, potentially into turn 2.
8th place.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of entertaining or invigorating commentary from myself today. I'm just going to focus on not dying. I'm running the low downforce setting on the Lambo this week at this track. just feel like it gives me the most amount of control over the car. Ooh. When I saw him twitch to the left there, I thought, oh, what are the chances he's going to clip that grass and come back on at Mach 1. But luckily we were already past him when that happened, which was good. We can just punch in some really good, consistent, good laps. Potentially push that gap out to friends for us behind us.
The leader has just done a 124.
And get away from him.
P7.
Oh, Ferrari behind him, Francois has gone. There we go. Remco again, so something must be going on a little bit further down the track. I'm just gonna say, like, I understand.
The gap behind has now decreased to 1.3. They're faster than us through Westfield.
Especially in iRacing, it's very easy to get caught up in results and loss of I rating, loss of safety rating, like it's happened to me a lot of the time. And you guys have seen that on the channel where contact was completely not my fault in the slightest. I'd always recommend against swearing. There's absolutely no need for it in the community, in my opinion.
Sector 1 is 0.8 off the pace. Sector 2 is a second off the pace. Sector 3 is 0.6 off the pace.
Right side. Hold your line. Clear right.
Come on, Oliver. Don't let him get away.
Swearing and vulgar language is something that I've had to work on a great deal.
On your right.
Especially
Clear
trying
right.
to keep a...
On your right.
I'm not going to say
Clear
kid-friendly channel, but a channel that's just free of vulgar language and things like that. It is something I've obviously had to work on quite hard, but there's absolutely no need for it. At the end of the day, there's no point blowing your top over a game, realistically. And I don't say game in a sense to belittle the
gap in front has increased.
The seriousness of this.
0.8.
If you're not going to take iRacing seriously, no point being in official ranked lobbies. But no point saying silly things and effectively bullying people just because you had a bad experience. And if anyone caught that Road Atlanta race with a Lise or a Liza in the BMW that was just going crazy, focused more on
P8.
hyping than actually racing, there's just absolutely no need for it. Morton is running a little bit slowly. Oh, a little missed that.
There's an incident in Graham Hill Bend. Yellow flag. Keep your wits about you, mate.
And we are continuing the trend of me knowing none of the corner names. Morton has pushed that gap back out. One thing I can say, although it's quite easy to fall into kind of purgatory, I like to refer to it as, where you're a fair few seconds away from the car behind and the car ahead and you're kind of just racing against yourself. BrandsHatch is one of those tracks that, because it's so quick, so flowing, it's almost like a roller coaster ride, it can still be exciting to watch.
You're pulling away. The gap behind is now 3.5. 7th position. That's your fastest lap today.
And the fact that I'm not catching the guys ahead of me at a massive rate of knots makes me think that they themselves made mistakes on their qualifying laps as well. And to cement that issue, that thought process, at the end of that out lap, I was 3rd or 4th on the leaderboards for it and only got bumped down to...
Okay, Oliver. We think our refueling window will
9.
open after 18 minutes and closes at about 29 minutes.
The last lap runners that go through.
Looks like P2's gone off in Sterling's.
Sterling's, this probably up here. The right-hander. And because these are sweeping off-camber corners, it makes it really easy for the back of the car to want to overtake the front of the car and get away from you. And because the longest straight is that uphill into that sweeping right-hander,
the gap to Christensen ahead is now 4.6.
I thought I'll sacrifice a little bit of my top-end speed and straight line speed in favour for cornering stability, having a little bit more of a stable car going through those long sweeping corners, because I felt when I was running it with the extremely low downforce settings or the moderate, the car just felt really jittery. And I'm not sure if that was just a lack of confidence around this track, a lack of confidence in the car, but it really just felt like the car, if I was off by a few meters on my turn in, that was it, straight into the fence kind of thing. And if I can, at least while I'm still learning a track or doing my first few races around it, if I can make that margin for error a little bit bigger, I'll take that every day of the week. If it means I'm a few tenths of a second slower per lap and that costs me 1 position overall in a race, I can live with that. By having confidence in my car, clean racing, and not being a hazard, not only to myself, but a hazard to other racers. Last thing I want to do is be on the receiving end of a spray. Second place went off, but it must have been relatively minor because I haven't gained any positions yet. We're just still in P7. And we're consistently lapping quicker than the cars behind by 2 and a bit seconds a lap, which is good. I tell you what though, I know it all comes down to mentality and what kind of attitude you go into each race with, but it feels like this season everything's just kind of clicked into place. And I think I touched on it in that first video that we got the win at the IMSA Haggerty series. I think I did put a little bit too much on my plate in terms of setting myself the goal of starting a YouTube channel, starting B-class licensing with an intention of being A-class by the end of the season, jumping in and still hoping to be extremely competitive, doing all my editing, doing pretty well everything in-house without outsourcing anything. Whereas now, even by having 2 or 3 months worth of experience, I'd say 3/4 of a season, practicing at it and refining my skills at it, I've learned to not cram as much. Like, I remember when I first started, that's only 2 or 3 months ago now, but I would be recording from the second I got home from work, and then probably try do the 6 o'clock, the 8 o'clock, and the 10 o'clock race, because the VRS Sprint Series runs on a 2-hour cycle. And when I wasn't racing, I was editing. And when I wasn't doing either of those things, I was either sleeping or working. Whereas now, if I get a good race,
Christensen ahead is increasing.
Early on in the weekend,
7.8 seconds.
Instead of jumping straight back into it, I'll take my time. I'll edit that video straight away. And if I then get a chance at the end of the weekend or the end of the day to still do another race, I'll do that second race, but without putting any additional pressure onto myself. And it's good to know that we're only a few weeks away from the new Formula 1 game, so I'm really excited to add some diversity to the channel. And I feel like with another few weeks of experience under my belt as well, I'll be able to balance doing two different titles in conjunction. Sorry, two different titles, but realistically 3 different series, because I'm running the IMSA Haggerty series, which I'm doing my best to give a red hot crack at. I missed Kansas Speedway, which was last week's track, but I'm hoping to be able to do this week's race. I'm not too sure where it is. I probably should know that one, but I've got no idea. All I know is I didn't have to download that one because I already had it, so yeah, which will be good. Those tyre tracks, I'm pretty sure are new. I don't remember them.
E7.
Dropped to 1 gear too low there. This has been a little bit of a sloppier lap. I know in terms of tenths, it's very similar to the last few. However, it's felt very sloppy. So this week in racing, we've got the second of the Styrian Grand Prix in Formula 1. Max Verstappen beat Lewis Hamilton at the Red Bull Ring, and due to COVID, the Red Bull Ring is hosting...
Okay, you've used half your fuel.
2 races this season, as it did last year, acting as a season opener, because Melbourne was unable to due to COVID restrictions. So Mercedes have got
catching. The gap's now 7.1 seconds.
Some serious time deficits to make up, and I think Bottas was extremely lucky that that race wasn't 2 or 3 laps longer, because Perez was catching him at a very significant rate of knots, and it ended up being, although a pretty uneventful race by the last few Grand Prix standards. It's still exciting when it's not a Mercedes 1-2, so it's always good to have that. And then the MotoGP, I didn't really catch it. I didn't really pay attention. I had it on in the background whilst I was editing some videos on Sunday. So I wasn't really switched on with what was going on. I probably should have been. All I know was I saw the Valentino Rossi crash, and he's starting to get a little bit long in the tooth and might need to hang up his helmet soon. Obviously, he's still one of the 20 quickest guys on a MotoGP bike on the planet, but body can only take those 200k an hour crashes for so long. I'm enjoying having that little map there, although it's more for you guys as a viewer thing to see where I'm at on the track and where other cars are in relativity to me. I think it's one of the better additions I've added to the feed for you guys. I know it's one more thing that clutters up the screen, but realistically it's just covering a section of the roll cage on the Lambo. It'll be interesting if I end up changing cars, if that setup will still work, or whether I'll need to move it or not.
The gap to Christensen ahead is increasing. It's now 11 seconds.
Gap behind is also closing. I wish my spotter was keeping me more informed with what was going on back there. I'm not too concerned about up ahead, more concerned about further behind. Always got to be careful on that that sweeping left-hander. You want to hug that inner apex as best you can to have a really smooth exit, but you also don't want to extend too far past that curb and clip your front wheel on the grass, because it does a really efficient job of spinning you. Ooh, slightly deep on that one. So leader starting to overtake back markers by the looks of it. You just hope.
Okay, Oliver, 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
That when you do approach a back marker, they make overtaking as easily as possible.
The guy behind's reeling you in. The gap's now 5.4 seconds. He's faster than you through Sheen.
I don't know where Sheen is. I take it it's that left-hander that was just behind me that I was slower through. Up by 2 tenths. Whoa. Had to wipe off plenty of speed there when I went over that grass. Just to make sure I didn't...
That's 20 minutes to go, 20 minutes.
Halfway.
That's half distance. Should be about 9 minutes of fuel left.
Gary Noel in the pits. I think he's leaving the pits as we speak.
That lap time was 1:25.86.
So the car directly behind me is lapping very similar lap times to the ones I'm setting. And because that's a higher curve there, as you see, I'm not sure if you saw the rev lights ping up, wheels leaving the ground, path of least resistance, all the power is going to go to that unloaded wheel, and that's what sends you into a spin. Oh, very slow through there. Right, 3 seconds to, yeah, Nicolaj. Actually,
Gap to Christensen. Ahead is increasing. It's now 13 seconds.
Too shallow. Just cost me a butt ton of time. That was good through there. I'm also not too sure what Nicolaj has had to deal with the last 20 minutes. Has he been heavily fighting with Durant? Like has Durant been absolutely sending it down every single opportunity he can to try and make an overtake happen, and as he had to race super defensive until Durant made a mistake or something like that. Again, too deep. Way too deep. That was a pretty good sequence of corners there, that right and left. Pretty good last sweeping right hand corner. Felt good.
You've just done a 125.89. There's an incident in Surtees. Looks like it's RI. Okay, Oliver, the next car is RI.
He's back on his way, but he's only 4 seconds up the road. Didn't see any skid marks or anything, but that being said, I'm not sure if iRacing can sometimes be a little bit hit and miss with loading other cars' issues. See, that doesn't feel all that better, but on the relative, it is. 5 minutes of fuel left. I wonder if Shuya Arai has got damage. I was butchering his name. I was trying to say Takao because that's the guy I'm used to racing with that has an Oriental-based name. However, it was not. I think I just need to get in the habit of saying people's last names like real race car drivers.
"15 minutes left."
About 4 minutes of fuel left. I think he must have clattered a wall or something, maybe affecting straight line speed or acceleration or even confidence in the car. There is a different sense of motivation when you can see the car that you're hunting down ahead of you, though. You start to push that little bit more. You can use their brake lights as a brake marker. Obviously, I can't see. Actually, I can see now when he's braking. Oh, he's jumped into the pits early.
P5.
Car does feel awesome on minimal fuel loads. Good exit out of that corner.
Incident in clearways. The gap behind's increased to 1.6.
Oh, deep through there. Damn. All that hard work on that lap.
2 minutes of fuel remaining.
Done. I wonder if he's going to go in. Be interesting to see if the Porsche's thirstier than the Lambo. I'm pretty sure. No, he's able to stay out with me. Unless he's also starting to get...
The gap to Christensen ahead is now 11 seconds.
Unless he's also...
Okay, Oliver. Very little fuel left.
Yeah,
Hit this
I
lap.
got a box.
In this lap. Your lap time was 125.80.
Oh,
The leader is pitting now. Two litres remaining. He's all over you. Keep your exit speeds up. Stay smooth. He's quicker than us through Sheen.
thanks, mate. Oh, I thought I dropped the wheel on the grass, so I let off the brakes.
Christensen ahead is pitting. Look out for the pit speed limit. The pit lane speed limit is 72.
Hold on, he's
kilometers
going
per hour.
another lap
We'll fuel you
deeper.
to the end of the race.
Unless he was fuel saving real heavy. No optionals. I'm not used to saying those. I think it's at 28 litres, so probably about...
The car behind's
Ah,
pitting.
damn.
Looks like you're clear on the pit exit. P9.
It's a very difficult pit lane to exit out of as well, especially when you've been racing for 25-30 minutes. Because you kind of set yourself up, because it's a blind dip into that sweeping right-hander. You kind of get a knack for the right way for you and your setup to go through it. Wow.
All right, Oliver. 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left.
Jeffrey Wilson is the leader, and he's almost about to lap everyone. It's always daunting, that first lap after a pit in, because you're full of fuel, your tyres do cool off ever so slightly. It'll be interesting to see how we come out in relative to Nicolaj, and if we're going to be racing for another 9 odd minutes. Spotter has, he's come out a fair ways ahead of me, wow. He must have had an absolutely stellar in lap. That being
The gap
said,
to RI ahead is
Shia
increasing.
and
It's
Nico-
now 2.4.
oh wow, Nicolaj actually jumped both myself and Arai. He must have had an absolute blinder of a lap. I must have really been holding him up. I was going to say maybe Nicolaj will fight with Tashuya, but it's already happened.
Ward is closing in. The gap is now 12 seconds. P8. Your lap time was at 125.71.
Pretty good lap time. But for me, I'm happy with it.
10 minutes of fuel remaining.
So with just over 7 minutes left to race, interesting to see if Durant can close the gap up. He wasn't able to prior to the pit stop, but that being said, he's also running a 2-stopper. He must have had an incident at the start.
That was a 125.78 incident in Graham Hill Bend. It looks like Sander.
Durant has kind of stopped his charge at the moment. We've kind of leveled out where he was at, kind of thing. But he is also still within striking distance. So we still need to be very careful. Pushing it all the way out as far as I can. Had to lift off ever so slight. I thought I was going to go over that crest.
Okay, Oliver. 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes left. Focus on the exits. We can go faster here.
Can we?
Good lap. That's your quickest so far.
Oh, deep and slow. Damn it. Oh, there's an innuendo for you. So I think we're quicker than a Rye on this back half of the lap, but this is also where the lap can also become undone very quickly.
There's an incident in Westfield. We think it might be
So that's Westfield.
Push now, we can catch this guy.
I know I've overtaken him already. Before you even had your message done, mate, I'd caught him. Oh, let's not get too bumpy there, Durant. Just weighing up on whether it's worthwhile me risking getting a punt
7th
and
position.
having my entire race uprooted, or just letting him through. But
Car left. Clear left.
too shallow, costing me mad time on exit.
Stick to the plan. Don't be intimidated here. They're quicker than us through Sheen.
See what I mean? When you clip that grass too much, it really wants to help rotate that car through that corner. But you get too much of it and your race is very well over.
On your left. Still there. Clear left. Left side. Clear left.
That's 5 minutes of fuel left.
Completely clean from my side of the thing. I made my intentions very clear throughout that entire process, so if he's got any gripes, he can take them up with himself. Overextended in that corner.
Is increasing. It's now 11 seconds. That's 2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
I was holding on to that 7th place as best as I could. As good and as cleanly as I possibly could. So I'm not sure if I'll get the white flag this lap around, but I think it will be close. Alright. I'm starting to sweat. Ooh, so we got... I might actually have to...
That lap was a 125.80.
We still have this one plus one more. White flag didn't come out that lap. It's going to be tight. I'm going to have to monitor it. Oh, short shifted when I didn't need to. Silly of me. .6 to go.
You've got 2 minutes of fuel remaining.
Am I getting the white flag this go round? Yep.
We think P6 has gone off in Paddock Hill. P7, one more lap to go. Yellow flag. We're running on fumes, mate.
I don't think I'm going to be able to put on an attack with Nicolaj, but if he makes another mistake, I'm right on the back of him, so I would hope for his sake he doesn't. What even is an apex?
Two litres remaining.
I think we're going to be okay on fuel as well.
Hicks is now leading.
Alright. Nicolaj got very lucky. If he spent too much more time in that sand trap, I would have had him.
Paddock Hill. It looks like it's Sander.
Oh, it's a race to the line. Oh, I got him.
Yellow flag. Watch out.
I'm pretty sure
B6.
I got him on the line. I got Nicolaj on the line. I think he got confused on where the line finished, but I got him. Oh, that was an awesome race from start to finish. That was a really exciting one. Like, even though maybe for you guys I wasn't in touch with I wasn't in touch with Even though I wasn't in touch with what was going on, I had to end it off with a spin and ruin my perfect no incident thing, but that's all good. Guys, we're just going to jump on into the results. All right, guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to just quickly jump on into the results. So, strength of field 1303, 3 splits. We were bottom split. 1 lead change, Jeffrey Wilson, Glenn Arnott, and Matt Hicks were your top 3, all Aussies, which is great. They were lapping 2 to 3 seconds quicker than me a lap. Best lap, sorry. With the 2 incident points that I gave away right at the end, they're spinning out. It's 0.25, so a quarter of 1 whole point. Safety rating increase, and I had a 38 I rating increase, which puts us over that 1.5k, which is awesome. We're making great progress throughout the series. Actually counted it as 0 incident points, so I'm going to take it. 0 incident point race, which is great. Car number 8 finished P6. We overtook Nicolaj at the line. I have a sneaking suspicion he got confused on where the actual finish point was of the race. That's not our problem though. We beat him. So guys, it was a great race. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the content you saw today, please give it a like, give it a comment, check out the Twitter in the description down below, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye.